I've noticed many people today wearing Hoka shoes, and it seems to be the main driver is that they're either in foot pain or they're having some kind of issue in terms of pronating or supinating on the feet because it's a very popular running shoe. And they like the idea of like the motion control feature or the arch support in it, or just the fact that it's very cushioned. So, especially with someone who has foot pain, people always think about, should I just put more cushion between me and the ground? And the bad answer is no. Hokas don't do anything for foot pain. I do understand why people like to go that route. It sounds like it would help. Unfortunately, though, a thicker sole or just extra cushioning, whatever, does not help foot pain. We're going to get into why that is here. So, the first problem of a few that Hokas have, in my opinion, are one, and I'm going to demonstrate on this shoe, not a Hoka shoe, by the way, just using it as an example. They have what they call a built-in meta rocker. And so it is what it sounds like. It's basically a rocker that's put into the sole to kind of round out the bottom and make you basically like propel forward, like from heel to toe. And it's cool technology, cool idea, as I say in the article I'm reading off of here. But problem being, that's not how we were made to walk. That's not how our feet best propel us forward and build strength. We are meant to land forefoot to midfoot first, heel coming down afterwards. We don't land heel first because if we did that, we would have a ton of joint pain and we would actually have problems throughout our joints, all throughout our body, the way a lot of people do today. And it is exactly shoes like this with a lot of extra padding that teach us that striking the ground heel first is okay when it's actually not, because it's going to lead to problems down the line. So the meta rocker is the first problem. The second one, the narrow toe box. I am a huge proponent of having a wide toe box, preferably the widest part of the shoe, actually, because our feet naturally, when we're born, have the toes as the widest part of the foot, believe it or not. I know we look at our toes today and they look a lot more like this, but when we were born, and if we let them develop naturally, they would have stayed out wide. They would be the widest part of our foot. So shoes today don't reflect this, and like I was saying, that negatively impacts our feet. So that is the second negative feature, because I would like to see, for someone with foot pain, a wide toe box is what you need to be wearing. Third problem is that they have an elevated heel. Very common with all footwear today. They basically all have elevated heels. And what I disclosed in the article, having looked at a couple Hoka models, is that they're not the worst in terms of their heel height. There is definitely worse out there. For example, the Bondi 8 is 39 millimeters in the heel, 35 in the forefoot. So that's a 4 millimeter increase. The Clifton, 36 in the forefoot, heel 36, forefoot 31. So that's a 5 millimeter increase in the heel. So that basically means that here it would be 31, here it's 36. So your heel is constantly elevated. That's a bad thing too, because what this does is it shortens muscles on the back of our leg, Achilles muscle, calf muscles, and it tightens them, because if they're shorter, they're tighter. And we're wearing these things for years on end. So your muscles literally develop that way, and they kind of, they just learn to stay at that length, and it's the wrong length for them. So again, we develop more problems. We also lose ankle mobility, and we lose ankle stability when the heel is elevated as well. So again, they're not the worst, actually. Hokas are not the worst in this department. We have other shoes on the market that are worse in terms of heel height. Still not a good thing though. 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters, doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually still too much, because again, it's negatively affecting your musculature in your legs and your ankles. Fourth point, very predictable. There's too much cushioning, just simply put. The cushioning in Hoka's is the most attention grabbing part of it. I remember when I didn't know what the brand of shoes was because they were newer to me. I was just wondering, like, what are all these huge shoes that people are wearing? Like, why do they look so, like, half of the shoe is just like the sole? I was like, what's going on with that? Um, this is just the way Hokas are designed. It seems to be, like I was saying earlier, what catches people. And they definitely seem to like it. I see plenty of people wearing it. But anyway, this is kind of a negative thing again, because with foot pain, it makes sense to go first to your cushioning. It makes sense. Like if the ball of my foot or my heel hurts, first thing I want to do, because this is what I did when I was in pain, is I got thicker shoes. I put more padding between me and the ground. And it makes sense, but the unfortunate part is that's just not how foot pain actually gets resolved. It's actually through different means than that. And basically, what I say in the article is that you can't build functional strength when the sole is just so big. Because, to quote myself here, walking on pillows sounds great until you realize your feet are literally falling asleep on those pillows. I mean, you're not going to be strong and functional and capable. Even though you're walking on pillows and it feels nice, your feet are going to sleep. They're actually becoming weak. They're atrophying because you are not using them. When you're in foot pain, you don't want to use them less. You want to use them more. You need to signal to your body that you want to build strength here and you want them to be well and functional again. So there's other things to do with this, but basically more cushioning is not going to be part of that strategy. So basically that's the gist of what I find wrong with Hoka shoes. They are very popular. I know people are going to continue to wear them, but for people that I have talked to that are wondering, I'd like to clarify my stance on this because I definitely do not like them. They don't have any features that I like. And these are basically the reasons why. I'm an advocate for much more minimalistic or barefoot footwear. You can find those in the article that I'm reading off of now. I'm going to have it linked below this video. And I will also have my newsletter linked because every week we talk about foot pain and footwear, how to get yourself feeling much better. So that's all for today. Again, these are not Hoka shoes, just to avoid confusion. This is a different brand, but just as an example.